Ron Middleton after the game, and he said that he said you got after Zach pretty good last week about being more aggressive in terms of capitalizing on rushing opportunities when they present themselves. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I got on him too hard with it, but no, just conversations, just coach, trying to coach him up, and within the moment, I think that's when it's real. Thought he had an opportunity on a scramble versus New Orleans to pick up more yards than he did. He got an explosive, but I thought there was a lot more. Keelan was in a position to go block, and I kind of just told him in that moment, I'm like, dude, there's more there for you. Like you're a better athlete than you're giving yourself credit for, albeit even in the NFL. And it's hard for people to totally understand, but every little thing that these guys do, it's a learning experience for them. And so now him, taking off and making plays, what's the balance of getting down and protecting yourself, because you have to do that. But also at the same time, when can I be a little more aggressive and get as many yards as possible? So I thought he had a few opportunities in the weeks before that. The example I just gave with New Orleans, and he did that this last game. He took off and a little bit of an okey doke, I guess, there on the sideline. He was expecting to get shoved out. He didn't, and then he just kept it going. And so there's he made a few runs that were big for us.
Hey, Mike, what do you know of Todd Bowles? I don't know if you know him at all, but what are some of the things that you see as characteristics of his defense?
Yeah, I don't know Todd personally. Just a ton of respect for him. Haven't played him a ton. Never played him when he was the head coach here. But we played him in 19 when he was the defensive coordinator in week 1 in Tampa. So that's my experience with him going against him. They're an aggressive style, but what's unique about, they got good players and they're very well coached. And for them, what I mean by when they're very well coached is it seems like they have a pretty extensive playbook, but it also seems like their guys aren't out of position busting. You can tell when people carry a lot of volume within their defensive playbook, and guys are just a little bit, they're just off, and there's holes, and if you can exploit them or not. Sometimes it's based on the play call, and other times it's just making a defense pay. These guys don't seem like they're out of position for all that they do, and they're able to not only have a lot from my vantage point, but they play fast and aggressive. So they got it detailed up, they got it down. You can tell it starts with him, but then all the assistant coaches, and again, it always comes back to the players. They're very, very good players. They play the right way. You can tell why they were the world champs, a year ago, and why they're going to make a run again.
Do you expect them to come after Zach? Obviously, younger guy. I mean, you've probably seen that a bit this year, obviously, but with his system and that system, do you expect a lot of that on Sunday?
Yeah, it's part of their DNA. So you always look into the history of how certain coordinators attack a rookie or an inexperienced unit in quarterback. But for the most part, teams do what they do, and they'll make their adjustments, and they'll have their little game plan stuff, and then we got to adjust along with it, and you kind of take a shot and take a gamble on what you think they're going to do during the week, and you build your plan off of that, and have to adjust accordingly. So they're going to do what they do it well, as we know, and they're talented, so they're not going to make anything up. They're just going to come out and try to play their sound ball and aggressive style like they normally do.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Mike, we asked you a lot about Denzel this season, and early in the year was kind of about playing time and that sort of thing. But he's gotten a lot of playing time recently. He's gotten a lot of opportunities, and the production hasn't been there. When you look at this season with him, just how do you explain kind of the way the season has gone for Denzel?
Yeah, Kaz kind of stated a few times, just with, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but when you go into a second year, and you really didn't have a real first year, and no one did, right? Last year, I mean, all the rookies, they didn't have the normal NFL experience. It was a grind because it's still 16 games, but it's not the same. The COVID thing wasn't the same. And then and then what happened to him in OTAs, and then you know, just without really being able to practice, learning a new system. Not only learning a new system, but for him, playing in a different position in terms of, yes, he's always been a receiver, but he's playing inside the numbers, which he never did, like I said last week, in college. And obviously didn't do in the NFL for the most part. Not that he wasn't ever lined up inside in Gates' offense, but so that was new to him. And then OTAs or training camp is coming along a little bit, and then he unfortunately goes down, and then went down mid-season, then got COVID. It's just been one thing after the other. This league is about resiliency. It is what it is right now. He's not having the season that any of us wanted for him. Most importantly, himself. And I know what he wants from this league. I know what he wants from himself, and he's going to be resilient. And this is not the end of the story from Denzel. We're going to continue to work with him. Like I've said numerous times, he's fun to coach because when you look at him, he hears you, he sees you, there's eye contact, and it's just continuing to develop him and making the best he can be.
Mike, obviously the Dolphins, obviously they blitz a lot, and Tampa Bay blitz a lot, but obviously the Dolphins probably run a different type of blitzing scheme. But how much does going against that type of defense, who blitzes a lot, help prepare you for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also blitz a lot, even though it may be different?
Yeah, I mean, just you throwing in a phone booth, and he got that experience versus Miami. You try to give him kind of, like I said, during that week. I believe you asked the question about preparing them and for all the different looks, and you have to prepare them and walk through. You have to prepare them and practice and give them as fast of a game speed atmosphere as you can, particularly for a rookie who wasn't used to it at that high of volume. So he did get that experience, but like you said, now he's going to get more pressures this week, but it's just going to be a different kind of shell and coverage behind it. And so again, you just go through that same process. You don't make anything up. You'll revert back to some of those times, but in real time, being able to throw within that phone booth, step up, find the soft spots in the pocket, play within the timing of the offense, and then, as always, no matter who's quarterback, but as we saw last week, when it's not there and there's a lane, you go. And it happened a few more times last week, and it's not making excuses. Just again, it's not having a lot of the same guys that he's had out there. The timing was off a little bit, some details were off, and he just took off and made some plays. So they're going to come after him. If it's there, you take it. If it's not, you make the best decision for our offense, whether it's take off, whether it's ditch it, and live to see another down.
Like, it was well documented at the drafts how excited you guys were when Michael Carter was there at the beginning of day 3. But has anything he's done this season even surprised you and kind of just something you didn't expect from him?
No, not from a physical standpoint. I mean, to say that I thought he'd have this great a contact balance and all that, like, you knew it was good. You just didn't know that it would translate this fast to the NFL, first grown men every single Sunday, So I guess a little bit surprising there, but you knew it was a matter of time, for all these guys, for their physical traits. From a mental standpoint, or just an everyday approach, for being a rookie, like, the rookie wall is real, whether people want to admit it or not. It just happens at different times, and sometimes you can tell a little bit more than others. Like, this dude's it's like his 6th year in the NFL. Like, it's every day is the same for him. He's constant. He's a professional. He brings energy. He brings juice. He's a leader. And I told him, I think last week, like, if you want to lead and you got something to say it now. Don't wait. You don't have to wait till year 2, year 3. Your actions speak for, who you are as a player and as a teammate. So if you got something to say to the offense, to the team, it's yours, man, and take the keys to it, So that's what's been really cool. He doesn't conduct himself like a normal rookie, and the players really respect him. And obviously, his play backs that up.
Is McDermott in your ear to get more touches?
He is. He thinks that was solely designed for him, but hopefully he's not watching this. But he was part of the progression, and we found him, and this was cool. It was a heck of a catch.
We'll take a couple more for Coach.
As you're watching that play unfold, I mean, clearly he was not the first or second read there, but as you're watching it unfold from upstairs, Mike, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, dude. You know, that's a very universal concept that you're looking to the flat, and then, I mean, that's as old school as it gets. You're going to the flat, flat's not covered. You retreat a little bit, you look backside, and pre-snap when I called it, I saw how out leveraged we were to the left, and I knew, I'm like, this isn't going to be great. And that's when, you know, kind of I've stood up here a few times where when it's there, you make it happen, but when it's not there, Zach, how do you make a play, or how do you make a bad play not worse? Well, and fortunately for us, that was 4th down. If that was 3rd down, who knows if he would have found him? He might have got rid of it a little bit quicker. I don't know. He was in the moment at that point, playing pretty free. So I think he was going to find him 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th down. From my vantage point, I saw how open McDermott was, but I also saw bodies over there as well. And I saw McDermott's hands go up, and I'm like, oh man. So I knew he was going to have to make kind of an adjusted catch. And, you know, he made a heck of a play. And, you know, kudos to those guys for getting that thing done on not a great play call.
Mike, have you noticed any difference at all in Zach's demeanor lately as he's gotten more comfortably? Morgan Moses yesterday said that he's like demanding greatness now from his teammates. Have you noticed anything, any change?
No, from my perspective, no, because I've always been impressed with, you know, how he approaches this thing, and that's what you want. You want constant. I don't know what's different in the huddle. I don't ask. That's their spot for those 11 guys to, you know, whoever's in there. They have to own that, and they have to own the line of scrimmage, and, you know, and just be that unit. But from his approach in the meeting rooms to the practice field, no, I haven't seen a difference. I just seen a guy getting more comfortable. But in terms of how his demeanor is and stuff like that, no, I think that this kid, he's going to be unfazed, whether good or bad. You know, he's gonna show up to work and try to be the best he can be and continue to improve.